Morning, everyone. Both here and online. I need to remove my mask. Yeah? Could be someone else standing here. Thanks, Linda. Yeah, really happy to be here. Thanks to my immediate former speaker, Dr. Were, my contemporary in this cause of championing for healthcare in this country. So I'm really happy to be here to speak on the topic of aligning pharmaceutical supply chain. As you've heard, I'm the current president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya. I just got elected for my second term. What we are focusing on now is how can we, just like Kemri would like to manufacture vaccines, PSK would like to champion for the increasing our capacity in manufacturing other medicines instead of just the essential paracetamols and things like that. So next slide, please. This is the state of the current supply chain in the country. Source of pharmaceuticals coming to the country, we have over 70% of what we have is imported. Locally manufactured is less than that, 30% thereabouts. We have 38 local pharmaceutical manufacturers. API manufacturers are people who manufacture raw materials for it's called the active pharmaceutical ingredient. It's one thing to manufacture create a finished product, but also someone needs to manufacture the active ingredient. We grow artemisinin here, we send it out to be processed into an API, then we import it back as a API. Yeah. In this season of self-sustainers, I think that's one of I should have started with a disclaimer. Let me just insert the disclaimer at this point. I'm talking from a point of, I have faith in what we have to do to make Kenya sustainable. Self-reliance on behalf of the region. But there's some brutal facts we have to look at. And as we look at these brutal facts, I think we'll have a discussion and dialogue that will help us get to some real solutions. Yeah. So we have over 250 wholesalers. This traditionally will be people who are importing the medicines. Yeah? And they're in business. So and the business is able to ensure that we're able to get high quality medicines from those other markets, in addition to supplement what we are manufacturing locally. Our local manufacturing capacity is performing at a slightly under 50%. Yeah? So over 50% of our capacity is underutilized. Let me say it that way. Yeah? Unutilized. So that's a big opportunity right there. So questions there, what do we do with that capacity? Yeah. Of course, there's a cost preference on what's imported. I mean, if I was to give you what is imported, let's say even if it's an amoxiclav, yeah, your common amoxicillin and clavulinic acid, you'll find that the imported version is cheaper, far much cheaper than the locally manufactured. And there's a reason for that, because if you call for a meeting of people with knowledge and expertise in manufacturing that in Kenya, they will probably fill maybe the first 2 rows or maybe even the first row. If you go to India and you call for such a meeting, you'll need a stadium, because they have been doing this for years. They were deliberate with certain things. The government was deliberate with certain things. The market was deliberate in ensuring that they support locally manufactured in different ways. I think we'll talk about the next few slides. This is a continuation. The current market size is 1.15 billion. Again, for me, this number, I feel it's grossly understated, but it's what we're able to measure. Again, in a market where there are different gaps, you find you can only measure what you can see. There are certain things in the market you actually cannot see. So it's to be very hard to. The Tusker region, this is not the Tusker for the happy hour. The Tusker region is your Tanzania, Uganda, Sudan, Kenya, Ethiopia, and Rwanda. The market size is projected to be 7 times that of Kenya. So again, there's an opportunity around our neighbors. So whatever you'll be manufacturing here, actually we are the biggest exporters to the region, even to the Comesa region. Yeah, you'd go to Malawi, I've been to Malawi, to the central stores there. Again, Dr. Were talked about it's Kenyans who are running things on that side. And when you go there, you find it's actually Kenyan products are on the shelves. Yeah. So that's 7 times. the split of the, so we have 10,000, there's an asterisk there, there's a reason for that. So we have 50% of those 10,000, almost 50% are in public facilities. So you're talking about hospitals, the level 2s or upwards. So they keep medicines, yeah? On the other side, the registered pharmacies in the country are around 5,500. Again, you probably have met a pharmacy, or walked into a pharmacy that's not registered. So again, that number needs to be doubled. I've seen figures that say 20,000 are the number of pharmacies in the country. So again, if you can't measure, how would you project that we have a 1.15? And that's the figure that we have right now. So who's moving these 1.15 billion US dollars? So what's measured? Between chems and meds, they probably are at 45, 50. I'm talking a billion Kenyan shillings. Yeah, of that's in US dollars. So that's the current, and then the rest, everyone else is managing the rest in the orange. Yeah. So again, there's an opportunity to see there who are all this, the rest. Yeah. Are we tracking what they have? And is everyone inside all the rest? Or is there others that make even the pie even large? This is something I picked from Dr. Nyalita. She likes saying that the patient is one. In all that hulabaloo, the patient is one. Yeah. Next slide. So what drives this insecurity and what sort of ideas do we have around what could be done? Yeah, and we can expound on this. So we have low volumes of orders and higher costs. So even if you are to say, let's promote locally manufactured products, yeah, we will really struggle because the volume is, there's a perception, there's KEMSA can't even buy them because their cost is high. The Public Procurement Act ties their hands. You have to buy the one that is cheaper. And even if they buy the one that is expensive, you'll see on the media, Council of Governors has said that they're buying expensive medicine, and they will be buying expensive medicine if they're buying the locally manufactured. But then, what do we need to do? Yeah, we might need to look at the public procurement policy. I saw the PDU is here, represented here today. How can we drive a narrative from national level to the county level on that we are feeling the pinch maybe for the next 5 years to promote locally so that we can be able to guarantee volume so that they can invest in that space. Nobody wants to invest there because the turnover would be, because it's a free market. Kenya is a free market. There are low incentives to invest in the knowledge and skills transfer. And that's why we are always manufacturing the paracetamols. Majority of us would just want to manufacture the paracetamol because that's what but there are expertise that are required to then manufacture some more specialized products. And we can. Like you saw, we have 50% idle capacity. But for me to do that, I need to bring in someone maybe from India. So I told you those guys can fill a stadium or two. The experts. So you bring them here so that the unemployed pharmacists in this country can learn from them. So over a period of 5 to 7 years, this knowledge and skills can be transferred. Yeah? But for you to do that, imagine I'm investing in that as a manufacturer and I have to pay PAYE on the person's salary and all that. How can the government then come with some incentives around, let's forget the PAYE, pay the person, because remember, we are the ones to benefit. Because out of that one expert, we're probably going to get 5 local experts. Yeah? And then we can be able to transfer that knowledge and skills, even for that vaccines that we would like to manufacture. So, of course, we need some tax incentives there. Tax incentives to develop, for anyone delving into developing newer molecules. Yeah? They need some incentives to that. And again, policies to promote exports. There might have to be rebates and things like that. Yeah? So there's also lack of international and proprietary name in prescribing. So if you go to prescribe, to get a medicine from your doctor today, it should be prescribed for you in a brand name. Again, that's then locking out this the conversation around cost effectiveness. Yeah. So we would like to see, are we registering medicines in the country that are cost effective? And they are not necessarily cost effective, are quality. If we are happy with the quality, then the good, better, best in terms of price is suitable for anyone. So if Dr. Frank here today says his pocket can only afford 10 shillings, we give him medicine what? 10 shillings, a full dose. Yet tomorrow if Lyndon comes and says he has 1,000, there's also medicine for that. And again, so if we start having real conversations around, can we move to generic name prescribing? That will help us in even, you'll find that maybe out of the amoxicillin or paracetamol, there are 50 different brand names. Imagine KEMSA having to stock 50 different brand names. They've distributed their volume over 50. Yet if they only had to deal with 3 products, good, better, best in terms of price, they would have consolidation of volumes. Yeah. On the flip side, we are dispersing our volumes just to please the needs, the perceived needs. If quality is the same, what is this other perceived need? So formularies, again, just evidence-based formularies that inform what KEMSA has to stock, or even private sector hospitals and facilities. I know that's what they do. They just put a lean, they stock a lean list of medicines. Of course, there's the national standardization of coding of pharmaceuticals. Today, how Mombasa Hospital or Coast General or Nairobi Hospital or any other hospital that you might think names paracetamol, it ranges from here to there. However, the Pharmacy and Poisons Board has what is called the ATC codes that they use to register each medicine in the country. So if these codes can be made publicly available and then named, so that we standardize the entire, how you call paracetamol, how I call paracetamol should be the same. Yeah. So that again it will spur technology innovation, because you see the point of sale system providers. I saw Savannah was here. What they want is, can they get access to that data so that they can innovate, yeah, and help us to be able to have visibility. Even when you're quantifying that is a 1.15 billion market, are we really measuring everything? The last one, of course, is unfavorable tax regimes. Currently, local manufacturers would like to see their products moved from VAT. There's a way the Financial Act says, help me, Dr. Nyalita, is it the zero rating? Yeah. So they need to move to VAT exempt status, to zero rating, so that they can be able to claim their input tax. Yeah. So again, if you're having these conversations together, instead of silos, manufacturers are talking on one side, this is our pain points, government is saying, no, we need to do this. So we might, out of this conversation, if you can distill those ideas and just put it as a paper towards government and see, okay, these are the people who need to be in a room to map these things out, and again, we'll be moving in the right direction. Finally, these are the people. The only person I didn't mention there is the patient. But who represents the patient? It's not PSK. So we might need to have the patient there. I think we need to have a conversation where it's coordinated. COG, is COG there? COG needs to be inside there, and the patients groups, because we need to have some hard conversations that say, this is our reality, this is the pain we'll feel just by buying it X a bit more until we get our critical mass, so that in the event another crisis emerges, we are better prepared. It will be a real shame with all the intellectuals in this room today and those online, that 5 years later there's another crisis, and this time it's affecting things that people have already sorted out from this conversation today. So if Frank and the team running this can just take this information and whatever is coming out from everyone else and just distill it into a paper. Of course, we are good in making papers. I'm not blind to that, but I mean, surely there's a crisis right now. What's the best use of this crisis? Thank you. I think that's it for me.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you very much. Please.